Hello everyone, happy weekend to all and happy gardening to everyone. So this weekend guys, I'm thinking of doing some repotting. I have a lot of pots and plants that needs to be repotted and needs to be refreshed. Just like this pot over here, and I think the soil of this pot needs to be refreshed. And this plant that I have here, I think it needs to move somewhere else in my garden that gets a lot of sunlight. And as you see at the moment, it's a bit shaded in this area. So the plant that I'm going to put here this time is the plant that survived, like this Aonium Sunburst. So I will put Aonium Sunburst in this pot. So join me guys and see what we can achieve this weekend in our garden. But before I'm going to touch this pot, I just want to give you a closer look what it looks like before we going to refreshen it. Actually, I have a lot of succulent in this pot, but then they didn't survive. And I also have this purple one here, but sorry, I don't have the ID for this. If you look at it well, this one is lighting. It's stretching because it's not getting a lot of sunlight. And I think I'm going to leave this ruby necklace here since it's growing nicely on this pot, and the rest will going to go. So that's what it looks like for now. And another one that I really like to repot and refreshen the soil is this Echeveria Kante here. I noticed that the bottom leaf are just drying so quickly. I think the soil of this is not anymore holding water and it needs a bigger pot. So I will repot that as well, and as well as this pot here. This one here, as you see that this one got a lot of weeds as well. So I need to remove these weeds, and some of the plant in here are also not surviving and it needs to be repotted. I have a lingua here. This one is not growing bigger, so I think maybe I will remove them there and replace the plant that I have in this pot. So I'm thinking of putting this Etna. I'm not sure if this is Etna or also a lingua. So I'm going to put that in here, and then this one I'm going to put it in some other pot. So see how it goes guys. See how much we can repot this weekend, and maybe you have some plant too that are not also moving or growing, so maybe they need some fresh soil or needed some bigger pot. So join me guys and see what we can do and what we can achieve this weekend. So here's my Echeveria lingua guys. If I'm not mistaken, is it lingua or Etna, either the two of that. And the pot is getting smaller for the plant, and the soil needs to be refreshed. So I'm going to put that in that big pot. So let's take this on the area that is not hot, because today it's very hot. So I'm going to do repotting on the other side of my garden. So here it is, very beautiful. So I'm going to start with this pot. So all I need to do for now is I'm just going to remove the plant here that I don't want to stay in this pot. So we're just going to take them all out. So I have a minima here. I think this one is also struggling in this pot or in this area. I'm just going to pull them out for now, and then we will replace it with Aonium Sunburst. This one here is a Margaret Rose. You can see it's also struggling a bit. Okay, so I think that's all I have in there. So I'm just going to remove some of this old soil so we can put a fresh one. And the soil that I've been using is this cacti and succulent mix, and this is the only available I have in my area. So I have a Aonium Sunburst here. Now this one started from cuttings, stem cuttings. I'm just going to pull this one out. At the moment this Sunburst doesn't look good, but when the winter comes, this will going to improve and it will going to look beautiful. So let's get this from here. Now this area here, guys, is my propagation area. So I'm going to get that and put it there. So we got our Aonium plant, and I'm just going to put it here in the middle here. Put this Aonium in here. Now I think I can get away with one, but let's put two. So that's pretty, and then I will just going to put some more soil in this. So at the moment here in Australia is autumn, so it's the best time for us here in Australia to do some repotting and do some plants acclimation, because autumn time the heat is not so severe or extreme. So if you need to acclimate some plants, so this is the best time. Okay, so that's done, and then we have more to go. So the next one that we're going to repot, guys, is this lingua spot. So I'll just call it lingua spot because the plant that I'm going to replace in this, or the plant that I'm going to put in here, are those linguas. So it's lingua spot. Actually, I have few plants here. I have a Echeveria La Virgin GTO. I also have a Echeveria Agave and this lingua. So I'm just going to remove this one first, and then I'm also going to remove this lingua here so I can put the other lingua that is already in clump. So let's remove some of this plant. So when you notice, guys, that your plant is not anymore moving or growing, so I think it's about time for you to refreshen the soil and also to upgrade the pots. So that's what I do with mine. When I see my plant is not anymore growing big, I'm going to refresh the soil, and as well as I'm going to upgrade the pots. Now I'm just going to remove of this old soil so we can put some new fresh one. I'm not going to remove all the soil, guys. I'm just going to remove half of it, and then we will replace the half with new ones. Okay, I think that's enough. Okay, so here it is. So perfect. Just going to take it up from the pot. I hope we will not damage it. Just give it a shake. So it's moving now. Going to do upside down. There we go. Alright, so we will just tease a little bit. I'm not going to disturb the roots much, just tease them a bit. There we go. Then we can put it in the new pot. We're just going to put some more soil in there. Okay, so that we're done with this one. And then the next one is the Kante. I have a nice pot in here. And this one got a good drainage, big hole. So if you're new to succulent, guys, succulent really need a drainage. So that's the most important thing with succulent. So we're going to put a mesh in there so the soil will not going to wash away. Now this Kante is struggling a bit in this part. You can see there's a lot of this dry leaf on the bottom, so it means it's dehydrated. It needs to be repotted and given a fresh soil. That's what we got. There he is. I'm just going to test this one a little bit. I'm not going to change the soil all over. That's perfect. Since this Kante, guys, is leaning a bit, I have some rocks in here. I'm going to place it underneath just to help this Kante stand up straight for now. And then when it gets stronger and settle down in this spot, then we can remove these rocks. So there you go. I'll just have to put it here underneath. Okay, so Kante is done, and then we will look for something else to repot in our garden. So the next one that we're going to repot, guys, is the Lingua. This one here, the Lingua. So I'm going to use this beautiful pot here. Actually, this is the second day of doing repotting because yesterday I ran out of battery, and as well as the weather got too hot, so it's so unbearable working outside. So now we're going to continue, and hopefully I can finish this today. So I'm just going to put a mesh on that big hole. So this pot here really got a big hole, so I need to put this to prevent from my soil washing away. Okay, so let's put some soil for this. Face it that way. So within this week, guys, starting from tomorrow, we're going to have a very hot weather. I think it ranges from 33 degrees to 40 degrees for this week. So I think I'm going to have a day off of gardening. Okay, so that's pretty like that. Have a look. Oh, so gorgeous. Look at that. Okay, I'm going to remove this flower stalk. This Lingua is really unusual, isn't it, guys? Those bumps and the color, they're beautiful. Let me have a look at that. That's alright. And then on top of this, I have this Mariga. I think this is Echeveria Mariga Now I propagated this from stem, so I'm just going to put it on top of that. Now this plant here, this Mariga, loves by the mealybugs and aphids. So that's why I'm struggling to keep it clean, because of these mealybugs. Okay, gorgeous, gorgeous. Now the original plant of this, the mother plant, is given to me by a very lovely lady. She's one of my viewers, Miss LaDonna. Hi Miss LaDonna, how are you, my friend? So this is one of the babies of the Mariga plant that you gave me. So I already got lots of propagation from this. It's easy to grow. It's easy to grow from cuttings, but it's hard to keep it clean away from the mealybugs. I think that's all right for now. That's pretty. I love it. Gorgeous. Yeah. I'm just going to add a cocoa fiber on this gap here, so the soil will not going to wash away. And I'm going to put this string of pearls on this side. And just tuck it in there. There you go. It looks pretty. So I'm done with this part. I actually did 3 parts of repotting, so I'm going to put this away. So let's put this away for now, and then we will look for another more to repot. So the next one that I like to repot is this flapjack. So I got this flapjack a few months ago, and it's been still sitting here in this nursery pot. Actually, I got 2 of these. This one and another one of this. So I guess it's about time for this to be repotted in a nice big pot. Okay, and the pot that I choose to put this flapjack is this one here. Now this one is empty, but I cannot put the flapjack in this spot because, as you see, it's very shaded and flapjack needs a lot of sunlight. So I'm going to maybe find a position that gets a lot of sunlight. So that will be very challenging because my garden has no more space. Every spot that has a sunlight or getting a lot of sunlight are already occupied, but we will find ways. So let's start repotting this flapjack and see how it looks like after we repot it. My pot. So here's my pot, and I put a styrofoam. So I'm not going to use a lot of soil. But I got a good tip from one of our viewers. He said, or she said, that we can use a wood pieces. They are more friendly to environment and good for the garden. But unfortunately, at the moment, I can't get my hands to a free wood. So I just use this leftover styrofoam that I had. But when I'm going to run out, I'm going to look for a wood pieces that I can use to fill up some of my big pots. So thank you so much, Bees Haven. Thank you for the tip, and that was really a lovely tip. Thank you so much. So It's autumn now here in Australia. A few months from now we're heading to winter, and our winter season here is always raining, always wet, and really cold. Okay. I'm just going to put this in here to add some color in this pot. So I know I said that I'm not going to put something else in this so that the flapjack got room to grow, but it doesn't look complete for me, so let's put something to add color in this pot. Okay, so that's be fine like that. So I'm done repotting this flapjack, but I can't control myself. Aside from adding up this Aonium Sunburst, I also add Aonium Kiwi, and then I add a ruby necklace hanging down here, and also I add this string of pearls, which is variegated, and on this side I also add a Aonium Mardi Gras. So, and I think I'm done with repotting because the weather is getting hot again. So we were going to have a rest, and I'm going to put this away in the garden in the spot that is getting a lot of sunlight. So let's do that and see how it goes from there. So I managed to repot at least 4 pots of succulents. I can still manage to repot some more, but the weather at the moment in the afternoon is getting hot, so I only have at least 4 hours of a cool weather, and then the rest of the day is unbearable. It's very hot, so that is why I only managed to repot 4 pots of succulents. Here they are. So this one is Echeveria marigia. It has a very pretty color. It is a variegated one. Then we have the lingua over here. It's really beautiful. Loved it. So it's only 10 o'clock in the morning, and this side of my garden really getting a lot of sunlight. They have a overhead cover as well as a shade cloth. So the shade cloth is only 30%, and the other one here, I think this is a lingua as well. So pretty, beautiful. Love the color. And then we have the bigger pot, which my plan is just to put those flapjack, but then I can hold myself. I put a lot more. So I put the Aonium Sunburst, one of my favorite Aonium, and then I also put a Aonium Kiwi here, and some of Aonium Mardi Gras at the back, and I also put or plant this ruby necklace and string of pearls. Gorgeous, loved it. And we have the Echeveria Kante in that beautiful pot. So this Kante has been neglected a bit, so now It has a new beautiful big pot, so I think this will start growing now. And look at this one, guys. The bare poles, look at the color, the tip, so pretty. And let's not forget our Aonium repotting. So here it is. And this Aonium at the moment has a bruised leaf. But don't worry, the plant will outgrow those bruised leaves. So here it is, guys, so pretty and beautiful. Okay, so that's what we achieved this weekend. I hope this still inspired you to get out in your garden if you have a cooler weekend. I hope this inspires you to get out in your garden and repot some of your plants that stop growing and give them a fresh soil and upgrade their pots. So that's it for now, guys. I hope you like our video for this weekend. And if you're new to my channel but not subscribed yet, please consider to subscribe. It will mean a lot to me if you do so. And also don't forget to hit that notification bell so you will be notified every time we have a new video. And if you like our video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to share as well. And don't forget to leave me a comment in my comment section and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. So guys, I'll see you next time. Bye.